Your Local 2 Weather Authority forecast.
Welcome back. Health index from yesterday and this morning. High for tree pollen, mold, and weeds. So mold made its way up to the high category as well. But grasses are now low, so good news on that end. This all courtesy of Texan Allergy and Sinus Center. And Dr. Paul Fulmer. You can visit their website, texanallergy.com. Now, our high temperatures from yesterday got up into the mid-80s, so once again, well above our average. 5 degrees below our record, though, of 90 degrees set not too long ago, back in 2014. 54 for the low. That is also above our average of 48 degrees. Now, this is what we're used to be seeing this time of year. We should be seeing temperatures in the 70s, but that has not been the case when we're seeing near 90-degree temperatures, and then getting near November where we're supposed to be seeing temperatures in the 60s. So we have been widely inconsistent from our averages this time of the year, but it looks like we could be dropping back down into the 70s starting next week, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But our high temperatures over in Phoenix way above what we are seeing. So consider ourselves lucky for how hot it is elsewhere when we're seeing these temperatures in the 80s throughout the Lone Star State, but getting near that 90-degree mark down in Corpus Christi and down in Brownsville, with both of them in the high 80s. And we're seeing these 60s throughout the central basin, some 50s up to the north, and then seeing similar temperatures down along the border. But during some of the areas in the Trans-Pecos, we are seeing those temperatures in the 50s, Marfa at 53 and Alpine at 58 degrees. But we are seeing clear skies throughout the entire Permian Basin. These clear skies going to continue until we see some rain chances next week, but we do have some cloud coverage throughout the western portion of the basin, not really having an effect on humidity levels, though. They're still relatively dry compared to everywhere else, where they're seeing these readings in the 70s and as high as the 90% readings for humidity levels, with wind speeds relatively pretty breezy throughout the central basin, with some stronger winds out to the west and some decent wind speeds down in Presidio. But we're seeing relatively calm conditions everywhere else throughout the Trans-Pecos and the Permian Basin, with wind gusts really not playing much of a factor, not really seeing too much activity going on there. But our day part forecast getting us up to the 60s early this morning, but then we'll be up into the 70s by noon, 80s by 5 p.m. Then when it gets around kickoff time, down into the 70s and high 60s. So good news when Friday Night Lights time happens. High temperatures for the northern basin. Seeing 70s throughout Tatum, Lovington, Hobbs. We are going to be seeing the 80s for a high today. Seminole, Lamesa, Andrews, and the rest of the northern basin. While the central basin, we're seeing these temperatures getting up into the close to mid 80-degree mark once again today. Trans-Pecos, most areas seeing mid 80s to low 80s for the high. And then going to the mountains, we do have some areas that are going to stay in the 70s. Valentine, Marfa, Alpine once again going to stay in the 70s today. Fort Davis as well, while getting up to the mid 80s in Presidio. And looking at our 7-day forecast, good news, good news, good news. More clear skies on the way, more 80-degree temperatures. But then next week, Wednesday, could drop down into the 70s on Wednesday and Thursday, with a chance of some rainfall on Wednesday. We haven't seen that in quite some time. We've seen some rain in the Davis Mountains this week, but that's about it. We need to start seeing some rain in this area. We got some drought conditions starting to form. It's really dry for this time of year, so any rainfall we can get, you definitely want to take it.
But fortunately, we're coming in a little wetter than usual, and I'm not sure if I'm more excited about the rain chances or the cold temperatures.
Yeah,
personally.
It's been a good rain season the last 2 years throughout the Permian Basin, but it is a little dry out there, and it is nice when it starts to cool down, especially when it's November.
All right, but another thing heating up tonight, talking sports, two teams in the same situation. Win tonight and make the playoffs, or vice versa. Local 2's Peter Terpstra has more in sports.
You've heard it all.